And we're here on this week's ETBU Coaches Show. I'm Mark T. Robinson here with head football coach Brian Mayper. Coach, you guys had a home game this past weekend, took down Higher Payne 54-28, and you guys looked really good out there. And the offense, as usual, very explosive. Defense was very consistent throughout. Just talk about how you guys have been able to be successful on both ends this year.
So, our guys are doing a great job. We had a game plan put in place, had a couple trick plays that we scored off of pretty quick. Just something exciting and fun for the guys to do. But the big thing was just focus on us getting better. Offensive line had a great game this week. Had 7 different guys score, so we're spreading the ball around. Running back had a great game. Baca obviously had a great game, getting named Player of the Week in the conference. And then defensively, we had a few turnovers, so that led to a couple scores. But you take those turnovers away, they probably score 7 points. But yeah, the team's doing a great job.
And I'm glad you brought up the kind of the trick plays. I wanted to kind of really talk about what's the evolution of those trick plays this year. And first you got Tariq Bogard going out for passes, then all of a sudden you guys are throwing laterals, and he's the one making the plays. So how did you kind of come up with that type of game plan for your team?
Just different teams we see that they give us the possibility to make them work. The first one we kind of hit the guys on the sideline and kind of a huddle up type deal, and one block and it's a touchdown. But defense had no idea what was going on. Then the double pass, obviously Tariq does a good job, and we just kind of gone to different guys on that. And that time it was Jeremiah Robinson. So he did a good job on that. But yeah, it's just something, change up the pace of practice, and those guys have fun doing it.
Yes, sir. And you guys are having another test this week. You're taking on Texas Lutheran. What kind of challenges would they present for you guys that you have to be aware of? What are some of the things that you're kind of getting your team ready to face in that matchup this weekend?
Yeah, they're gunning for the conference championship. I mean, they've lost one, I believe, to Mayper and Baylor. So they're kind of sitting in the same spot as us. Beat Louisiana College in a back and forth game that past week. So I mean, they're hungry right now. I mean, they're beat us last year at our place, so they're thinking they take care of business. They're going to win, same as us. So it should be a great game. It should be one of the better games of the conference this week.
Yes, sir. And also just kind of talking about, once again, shifting the focus back to your team specifically. What's the name of some of the players, or a player that kind of comes to mind that's kind of been going under the radar this year that's really helped your team be successful? You're kind of at that midway point, so you should have a good grasp of which player is going to give you what on any given night. So who are those players, are the player that's really been consistent for you guys?
You kind of got to look across the entire team. You look on special teams. This past week, J.J. LeBlanc and Diego Gutierrez did a good job punting the ball. Drew McKay has kicked the ball. He gets the ball up pretty high and didn't try any field goals. So those guys have done a super job. Then defensively, look at the D-line. I mean, there's a group of guys that pressure the quarterback, and obviously there are quite a bit of turnovers we've had, and that's all due to the guys pressuring. Colin Wright, Quaylen Beckley, who had a great game this past week. I mean, you name them all, and we rotate guys quite a bit, so expect them to get in. Again, it's a team effort. And then offensively, guys that never get any credit but do a good job. If we're having success offensively, it's obviously due to the offensive line blocking and protecting. So they did a super job. So it's hard to pick just one. This past game, the running backs had a phenomenal game. And then obviously Brian with his passing stats and Player of the Week. But yeah, I'd have to say if I was picking a group, O-line, D-line, I mean, it's hard to pick one guy. They all they've grown together and they've done a super job. So really proud of all of them.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach, once again for being on the ETBU Coaches Show. We'll be back, so stay tuned. We're going to give you the next coach.